So I'm going to do a review and an install of this ladder leveler stabilizer by LeveLok. Now when I bought this just a couple days ago, December the 8th, 2021, I paid $131.99, and here now today, on the 11th of December, I see it's $120. I did call Amazon, and they did give me a credit towards my account on another purchase for the difference, so I appreciate that. And here you can see online that it gives you these two pieces that attach to your ladder so that you can use this top piece as the leveler and go to either side of the ladder as required for the job. Here you see the picture showing it. Here you're on a steps. Could be uneven ground. Here it shows it being adjusted. Here it shows it installed. Attaching the outside leg to the pieces that attach directly to the ladder steps. So we're going to open up the box. As it came to me, the box is 21 by 16 by 5 inches deep. Here, guys, you see it is the model LL-STB-2QC. And it features quick on and off connection, no cutting required, extends a full 10 inches, easy to install and use. As shown on the outside of the box, you will have to drill some holes to attach the base unit before you can put on the leveler. Okay, we have a piece of tape right there. And the first thing you see are operating instructions. We've got operating instructions here on the one sheet. And let's see, the next sheet just shows some leveling system improvements, 2013 to 14. And let's see, and this is the actual installation of the LeveLok. Now this shows a QC1, and as I said, mine's the QC2. Probably just some minor improvement, but this should not be hard at all to install. I don't even know if you need to look at these instructions. A lot of it will be just logical, but we'll take a look here. And it says they have a video library showing the step-by-step installation there. And here, guys, the components, very nicely packaged to prevent things from moving around, getting damaged. So this is going to be one of the things that you attach to the ladder side. You have one in each, they give you two, one for each side. There's a direction up. There's the hole that you would anchor. It looks like there's 3 spots for anchoring. Here's your pin, the quick connect pin, which is tethered to the adapter here, which is nice. Can't lose it. You can keep it on the ladder. Very nice. The second one, nice aluminum. It's been deburred. The edges are nice and smooth, no roughness to them. And let's pull out the leveler leg itself. As I said earlier, this thing is very nicely packaged so that it won't get damaged. And then with this being in the bigger box, everything came in great shape. And you've got these styrofoam things that held the side pieces, and those are still in styrofoam. And then you've got this, very nice. Now this thing is beefy. It is not light. I mean, it's got some beef to it. So let's take a closer look at it. Also in the box we have a couple other items here. This is super glue. Okay, super glue. Not sure what that's for. And we have some miscellaneous. It must be fasteners. Gonna assume it rattles. That would be your bolts for attachment and other items required. Always be safe when you're using a utility knife. I got cut real bad on one years ago when I started out in carpentry, and I was not careful with it, and I found out real quick. Safety is number one. Love these Fiskars. I did a review on these too. These are excellent utility knives. Okay. And there's all the pieces. Looks like shim stock. Whatever that stuff is for. I think I will have to take a look at the directions definitely and see what we got here. Here you see all the components that comes with the LeveLok in the box. You've got 12 of these rectangular spacers and 4 of these square spacers. As to the washers, you get 6 of these small ones, 6 of the large ones, 2 of the medium-sized ones. You get 6 LeveLok nuts. As to the Allen head bolts, you get 8. 6 are all one length, and you have 2 that are shorter. So let's take a look at the side rails first that attach to the ladder. As I showed earlier, it's got this locking pin, and it's just there as a secondary, because I'll show you in a minute how you wouldn't really need this, but they're using this as a backup safety just in case something were to fail. And like I said, it's tethered, so you won't lose it. It's always attached when the unit is off, when your leveler leg is off. And up here, when you push this would be the side up against the ladder rung, your rail, and like I said, both sides are shown up. When you push this, here's the mechanism inside here. Okay, it's got this spring right here that keeps that up, and these large 3 holes are what the back side of the leveler leg, the pins, will go into and then push up, and it catches right here. And then your secondary safety is here should this for some reason fail, so that it won't drop down. Alright guys, so let's take a look at the leg leveler. And first we'll look at the bottom, the shoe. It's got a nice heavy rubber attachment at the bottom, and it's got these holes that they say you can put a nail through, 16 penny or smaller. If you're working on a wooden deck and you want a little extra safety, you could put a nail in here. They have one on both sides of that shoe. And the shoe is adjustable as far as side to side, up and down, to accommodate the terrain. Looking at it from the back side, you'll see a heavy spring in there. I'll show you what that's for. And there's those 3 attachment lugs that go into the side rail. They're calling it a key lock. That's what it says on each one of them. So if I pull on this, as you can see, there's 2 sections, an outside and an inside. If I pull on this, you'll see that it ratcheted. There's those heavy springs that I showed you. Okay, and inside there you can see the ratchet mechanism, the teeth, in which this outside piece ratchets and holds on. And here's another view looking at the extrusion, the aluminum extrusion that you see, and the piece that slides back and forth. So it says it offers 10 inches worth of offset, which is a lot. And you'll notice that this piece is held in with the teeth. Each one of these that you see here happens to be those key locks that you see on the back side. So now, how would this work when it was on your ladder? So to do this, you have this thing down here. You'd fold it out, and that's to put your foot on. So if it's on uneven ground, it would be off the ground like this. So what you would do, you could use your foot to push down on this, and as you do so, you can see that you'd push it down till it met the ground and that your ladder was level. So that aids in pushing it down. As you're holding the ladder, those 2 side rails, your foot pushes that down, you're level, you're good to go. And you can take the bottom side of your shoe, push that up, and get that out of your way. Now, when it comes time to move the ladder to a different spot, and you need to readjust the leg, or you're just done with the ladder, then you would use this activation thing here. And you want to be careful here. It's going to come up quick, but you'd put your foot on here, and as you can see, that spring is very, very rigid, very strong, so it pulled it up quick. So, and then when you want to let it down, and so that doesn't snap back, I think what I'm going to do is just hold the ladder, and then this way have it down to where you can control the speed of it in, like this. I don't know that I really want that snapping back as quick as I allowed that the last time. But it's very simple to use, and this thing looks like it's going to be a real lifesaver. Very nice, well built. I'm very impressed. So now, here's your side attachment rail that you keep permanently attached to your ladder. And so let's imagine now that you're going to attach this leg leveler to whatever side is required to level on your ladder. So as I showed earlier, you have those larger holes that line up with the lugs on the leveler. So it's a simple matter of getting those like that. Now remember, the top piece has this spring loaded thing, so it's going to hold it away just a little bit. So here's what you do: get them lined, basically get it lined up, push in and down, and that locks it in. And then their safety that they give you with this other pin is you put the pin in there, and so this way, should you try to get this up, it cannot come out. Could not come out because of the pin that's down here as a secondary safety. So now you're done. You want to take the leg leveler off, pull your secondary safety pin out, and then just simply push this like this and pull up, and it's off. Really a nice system. I had just by happenstance saw this somewhere and then went to Amazon and ordered it. I wish I would have known about this years ago. This is really nice. Now what I used to do before getting this, which would be an asset to me, is I would just have 6 by 6 inch square wood blocks. They would go from 1/8 inch tempered both sides hardboard to 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch plywood, 1/2 inch plywood, 3/8 plywood, 3/4 inch, and I would use a combination of those underneath the foot that need to be leveled. And obviously this will be much safer. And before I do the install, I just wanted to show you I'm on the LeveLok Corporation website, and it does say that this product is available pre-installed on Werner, Lynn, Michigan, Featherlight, and Branach, is it? B-R-A-N-A-C-H ladders. And it also gives here the private labeled, you know, where it shows the numbers: Werner, Louisville, Gorilla, Rhino, Keller, and some other information you can see there. And then their model number, again, as I stated earlier, LL-STB-2QC. Specs as given on the LeveLok Corporation website. Now again, on the LeveLok website, it's interesting. Here's a way to do it. If you had one on both legs of the ladder, both front and back side, I thought that was quite interesting. And for those of you with the little Giant, which I have, you can use that on their ladders too. Now as you can see here, What I like is they have a full complement of accessories that you can buy if you need extra pieces. You can see there the mounting bolts, aluminum spacers, thick and thin, replacement shoe. Now that's nice to know that you can get a replacement shoe. Currently they're showing that price as $9.99. And we have the complete mounting hardware kit if you need that. Now what I like is you can buy the base unit alone. So if you're not a contractor, if you're a contractor, you're probably going to want to buy the complete set. But if you're just a homeowner like myself, you've got multiple ladders, but you only want to use one foot or the one shoe and have base units anchored to the ladder, this is the way to go. You can buy just those base units. The 2 quick connect base units with the install hardware, currently they are showing at $49.99. So I like what I see here. You have something that you can down the road get parts for, update, whatever. Here you're seeing a ladder leveler. Does not have the base units, $81.99. And so anyways, so this is on their website. But I'm really happy to see that you can buy those base units, because that will be something I will be doing for my other ladders. So here you see my 14-foot straight ladder, and I'm going to be putting this on. And on this side this is the front side right here of the ladder, and so obviously this is the bottom. So I'm going to lay this out and show you how I'm going to lay this out to drill the holes and put those adapters, those side adapter rails on. Now take note of the following. On these side rails, they are actually symmetrical. They are marked left and right for the only reason that the right side here, they want the pin to be facing the outside of the ladder that you'd be climbing up on, not the side facing a building. So to do that, you have to have a right and left. Conceivably, you could put this on the right side, but the pin would be on an angle, would be pointing down. So optimally, you want that pin, when it's on an angle, in the downward motion like that. So I just point that out, left and right. Make sure that, and obviously up. So it's real simple. Now I'm going to be laying this out. I'm going to put some masking tape on here. And so to make sure that the masking tape sticks, since it is dirty, I'm going to take some lacquer thinner and just wipe down the area that I'm going to be putting the masking tape on so it gets a good adhesion. And you can see the dirt that came off. I always like to use masking tape to make marks. You make your marks, drill your holes, pull the masking tape off, and you don't have that pencil that is very hard to clean off. You'll notice on these side rails, those holes are directly in the center. So that makes it very simple. I'm going to take and put a center line down the rail of that ladder, which will be the center of where that's going to be located. Then it's just a matter of where do I position it up and down on that rail. So I've made my center line and I located the 3 holes. Now in my particular case, you'll see here they give you 2 holes at the bottom, which worked out good in the case of my ladder for where these rungs were. Because if you notice down here, it's got these like supports that the rung is anchored to, and I didn't want it to get in the way, and I didn't want this to get down so low that the shoe would interfere with this. So I'm using the very bottom hole and then obviously the other 2, and so I actually used a pen in this case, put locations. I'm going to take and start out with a small 1/8" drill to the center of each one of these before I go to the bigger size, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so I actually used a 5/32 drill in each one of those locations. Now watch this, guys. So before I drill my bigger hole, I can take that tape off. So all you do is pull this off like that. Okay guys, so I drilled three 5/30. I ended up using 5/32 drill bit to get my pilot hole. Now what that will allow is I can take my 5/16 and that web will fit right in there and guide right in. It's always easier to put a small hole and get it lined up than to use a big drill bit. It's always easier to use that smaller drill bit. And as you can see, I took the masking tape off. It left no marks on the ladder. Alright, so I've now drilled three 5/32. That's the size hole that you're going to need for the bolts that they give you. The next thing we got to look at is going to be why they give you shims. In this case, it's rather simple. There's just these rivets. In some cases, you're going to have rungs where you're going to have much deeper. So each application will be different as to how many shims and what you're going to need. Now in my particular case, I'm going to use just one thickness of those rectangular shims. And I'm just going to place them on there. The instructions I saw said something about if you want to use that glue, that super glue. I don't need it. I'm doing the ladder upright like this. Then I'm going to place the one bolt in here, like laid in there. And then place my other bolts just like that. Now those are 5/16. I'll just take my Allen wrench and turn those down. I don't want to make them any bigger. I want them just like that. So the next thing I'll do is just tighten these all down, and this will be placed. Now the other thing is, this is nice and straight. You don't have to worry too much. If this is on a little bit of an angle, got to remember that the leg lever that goes on here has the adjustable shoes. So you could conceivably have this on quite an angle. Now you don't want to do that, but don't agonize over if you're exactly perfect. It doesn't matter, you know, because again, when you put that leg lever on here, that foot is going to adjust for anything that you're out. And then I want this in the center, obviously, where the meat of everything is. I don't want to offset it. So you want everything in line, just like this shoe is right here. Everything's in line with the center of this rail. Now I'll be using 3 of the large washers that they give you, and obviously the LeveLok nuts that they give you. And those will go on the bottom side here. Also, I am going to use they give you 6 of the long bolts and only 2 of the short, so the long bolts will be used. One other thing I decided to do, since I had enough of these to go on top and below for both rails, I'm putting these in underneath also. So it's on, it's anchored. Let's check this out. So we will pull the pin. This simply sets in here like that. Push down and up. And then you can put the locking pin in here so that it cannot come out accidentally. Now here's where that careful measuring comes in. I don't think this is showing it too well, but with this all the way up, the foot on my ladder actually is lower than what this is, and you want that just in case you're not using this. But so that's it. Very simple to put on, guys. Nothing to agonize over. And the big thing is the placement of making sure when you do this, before you drill any holes, that you don't have anything in the way. In this particular case, there were things that I had to deal with here, because no matter where I moved it, otherwise I'd have to move it up too far and lose a lot of my 10-inch extension. So luckily they gave you that extra hole, and I was lucky enough just to get in between that you see my finger pointing at, that fiberglass. I didn't want to do any drilling into any of these aluminum members there, so I lucked out. Alright, so let's see how this works. We're gonna, if this was upright, you'd flip that up so you could use your foot to push this down and get it lined up with the terrain that you're on. So I'll push this, and wherever you stop, it stops. Now I've got this all the way out. So that's quite an extension there. And then to let it in, now if this was upright and you were using your foot on here, it wouldn't slam up, because the tip of your foot, your shoe would be holding that, and you'd let it up. So obviously this is your release, so let's release it. And there we are. Really a nice design, really happy with this. All I've got to do now is the other side, and this project is done. Now to take this off, we're going to pull the pin. We're going to come on the back side of that thing that I showed you, push up on the lever, and it comes off. So this is the lever I was talking about. Push up, and your level leg is off. Here's the back side, and you see how I, just for the heck of it, decided to use those shims on the back side with a washer, and just give it a little bit more support. Now here you see my 24-foot extension ladder, and you can see that the rungs stick out a whole lot more than those rivets do. So again, when I do this job, here you can see I'm going to have a angle brace in the way. So always know where you're at. Make sure you measure carefully, because when I do this, I'm going to get in between that angle brace. But measure careful. Put the masking tape on. You can make marks, double check, and if you're wrong, pull the masking tape off and relay it out. It's easiest thing you can do.